You want to pull out a piece that's the length or a little bit wider, a little bit longer than your paper. And this is tricky, and it's okay to, like for you guys here, you can do it. You can help each other out too, because it'll be a little bit easier. So I don't know if you guys can see this at home, but I have it stretched out. I'm holding it like this, and then I'm pulling it really, really tight so that I can fold it in half. And then I'm going to place it on the back. This is the back of the paper. And then I'm just going to walk my hands to the center just to fold it, get it as flat as you can. This is not an easy thing to do. But I was watching a YouTuber, Japanese watercolorist, and she taught me this technique. And it's the best way to keep your paper from getting all wrinkly. Because that's, if you've ever done watercolors, you'll know that it'll get crinkly and when you get it wet. So this is the hardest part, is the longest one. So I'm pulling it as tight as I can. And this is where like having somebody help you. So like Megan, if I pull it tight and then you come and you press it down, that makes it a little bit easier. So doing it together. You guys want to give it a try? Does it make sense?
Yeah.
And you guys all have this paper, right? Does anybody need paper? And everybody has tape? Okay, let's give it a go. And then when you're all done, call me over and I'll help you flip it over. Okay, so then once you have all of the tape on, you're gonna lift it up and then you're gonna flip it over and you're gonna start with one side, get it all pressed down, and then go to the middle. Make sure that your tape is bent, and then push it to the other side. It's not the easiest thing to do. It'll take some practice. Don't worry if it doesn't work out the first time. You can start over. But it's definitely the best way to do it. And then press around the edges so that it's nice and flat. You can rip off the extra if you want. So I'm taking my big brush and I'm just gonna lightly water, basically just paint a very thin coat of water onto your paper. Go both ways, so like spread the water out. You're probably going to notice that your paper is going to buckle a little bit, but when it dries, it should dry flat again. And what we're trying to do is get a lot of pigment. Do your lighter color first. And then clean your brush. And then activate your darker color. So the longer you do this, the more pigment you're going to activate. All right, I'm ready for everybody in the room to come on up here for a second. Okay, So I've used a different brush other than the one that I'm going to paint with, because watercolors just easily get dirty. So using two brushes is pretty good. And changing your water a lot. So notice my water is really dirty. So don't be lazy and change your water a lot so that you don't get dirty colors. All right. So I've given everybody a clear piece of acetate. You can use this to get more pigment on. So basically, I'm going to take this color, get as much onto there as I can. That's the only problem with these, is it's just they're very restrictive. So I find that using a palette allows you to have more paint. So the more paint you have, the better your result's going to be. All right, so that should be pretty good. I'll add my purple. So now if I go in there, guess what? I'm going to get a ugly purple, right? So I got to keep my water again. All right, change my water again so that I don't have, so I keep my colors as clean as I can. All right, let's see if I have enough. I can add a little bit more water. Whoops, don't do that when you're on your paper. I have a tight space here. All right, I'll just do half. All right, so then you should all have like a medium-sized flat, like a 1-inch. I'm going to start with the lighter color first. And because my paper is already wet, it should soak right in. And give you a nice even blend. All right, I'm going to change my color. And that your brush really good. Clean my water again. It's like my 4th time, right? And then I put the dark color on top. And if it's too watery, you can just go back, get some more pigment. The way that we control value with watercolors is through how much water we add. So if you want a darker color, then you need less water. Right, so I'm adding some more pigment. All right, now how to get these colors to blend together. Take some more water, and I'm just going to overlap the middle. Just go back and forth. All right, and then I'm going to take my big brush, start at the bottom, just go back and forth, really, really lightly, gently. You don't want to overdo. So that's basically what we want to try to do, is get a gradation from one color to another color without seeing too many brush strokes in between. And then we're going to let this dry, and then tomorrow we'll put another layer over the top. So we're going to do a technique called layering. All right, give that a try at home. This is called a variegated wash.